I mean, if you've ever had a brilliant idea but felt totally paralyzed because you didn't have the technical skills, the big budget, or just the sheer time to pull it off, well, this one is for you. We're going to look at exactly how the rules of making things have permanently changed. Okay, so let's really get into this. Think back to literally just a generation ago. If you wanted to do something truly difficult, like coding a piece of software, or directing a film, or launching a massive project, you'd almost always slam face first into an invisible wall. And it wasn't just a bump in the road that slowed you down, it was a missing piece of the puzzle that stopped you cold. Complexity wasn't just a side effect of doing hard things, it actually functioned as a super strict gatekeeping mechanism. And man, that invisible wall took so many forms. Sometimes it was expertise, decades of knowledge locked inside an engineer's brain. Sometimes it was credentials, where you literally needed an institution to grant you a degree or permission before you could even attempt the work. Other times, it was just the sheer amount of time needed. Or scale, where you needed hundreds of people to pull off a vision. Or capital, needing expensive recording studios or server farms. And sometimes, honestly, it was just presence, the need to physically be in a specific room. Before AI, tackling complexity meant strict dependency. You relied on experts, big institutions, and deep pockets. If you lacked just one capability, everything stopped.
Which brings us to a super important, totally measurable concept. Creators just call this the interval. Basically, the interval is that brutal, exhausting stretch of time, money, and dependency sitting between the awesome idea you have in your head and the actual finished product out in the real world. For almost all of human history, that gap wasn't just big. It was absolutely enormous.
Just to put the sheer weight of this into perspective, think about a photographer back before digital cameras. It meant hiking out for days, waiting for the perfect sunlight, and then spending all night in a cramped darkroom, breathing in chemicals. The interval was measured in days. What about a musician? You're hiring orchestra players, booking studio time, mixing tracks. That interval was measured in months. Filmmakers dealt with massive industrial operations taking years. And programmers? To build software, you had to spend decades mastering insanely complex syntax and algorithms. The really crucial takeaway here is that all this grueling labor wasn't just part of the job. It was a filter. It dictated whose ideas actually got to become real and whose stayed locked inside their heads.
But then, a prompt is typed. And just like that, the interval collapses. I want you to really stop and think about the magnitude of that. All those old dependencies, the endless wait times, the massive budgets, the giant crews, the years spent memorizing code, they literally just vanish. Poof. Replaced by a simple text description. We are experiencing a fundamental break in the entire history of human work.
Notice the crazy paradigm shift happening right now. For our entire technological history, we always had to adapt to the tool, right? A camera required you to learn photographic principles. A computer required you to learn a programming language. You, the human, had to bend to the machine's syntax. But generative AI flips this completely upside down. We aren't speaking to machines in their rigid robotic language anymore. They've actually learned ours. Your interface is now just your pure intention, expressed in everyday language. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world, using filmmaking as an example, since it's probably the most resource-heavy creative act in history. Check out this new workflow. A solo creator can now generate whole cinematic sequences just from text prompts. They can synthesize character voices, completely skipping the recording studio. They can score those scenes with AI-produced music that perfectly matches the emotional vibe. Then, they assemble and distribute it. Hollywood's massive industrial machine? Completely bypassed. One person can execute a massive vision entirely on their own. And we're seeing the exact same disruption over in photography. The old technical gatekeeping, mastering aperture, shutter speed, darkroom chemistry, is no longer the barrier to creating professional images. You can generate photorealistic images in literally seconds. You don't even need a camera, a physical subject, a location scout, or an expensive lighting crew. A sleek product shot that used to require a massive studio rental and a whole team can now be whipped up in minutes. This is spreading like wildfire into music and software too. Music production used to have a super high ceiling, requiring trained ears and expensive audio engineers. Now, full compositions just materialize when you describe a mood or a tempo. And software development, which was kind of the ultimate gate-kept profession of the digital age, has opened up in ways we couldn't have imagined even 5 years ago. You just describe what you want an app to do in plain English, and working code literally assembles itself. Suddenly, the total beginner acquires superpowers instantly. Now, let's take a step back for a second, because we really should sit with the discomfort of this. Purists have a very real, deeply felt concern here, and it poses a huge question. Does technical perfection strip away the soul? The argument is that the struggle itself is the craft, like the grain in an old photo or the slight looseness in a live concert. Those imperfections prove a human being was there, reaching for something. They give art its warmth. So when a machine spits out something flawlessly in 3 seconds, there's a genuine worry that we're losing that human heartbeat.
It's a totally valid concern. But if we look back, history teaches us that this exact argument has been made so many times before. Back in the 1800s, painters swore photography would kill the soul of art. In the 1900s, people thought recorded music was going to destroy the magic of live shows. Later, digital audio was supposed to ruin analog tape, and CGI was going to completely destroy practical effects. Every single time, the new tech was accused of destroying the soul. But guess what? In every case, the art survived. It evolved, it expanded, and it welcomed more people into the mix.
And the reason it always survives and transforms is because of something we can call the brutal logic of progress. See, progress doesn't really care about our nostalgia. It runs on 3 highly predictable, unstoppable forces. It's cheaper, it's faster, and crucially, it hands the power of creation to people who were previously completely locked out. When you combine those forces across the entire history of technology, it has literally never failed to win.
So here's the really big takeaway. It's all about how scarcity has shifted. The hard work doesn't just disappear, it relocates. In the old world, things were scarce because you didn't have access to the right tools, the right information, or the experts to execute your idea. But today, the new scarcity is simply clarity of intention. The hard part has shifted from searching and waiting around for an expert to actually deciding what you want to build and being crystal clear about it.
And that's exactly why generative AI isn't just another handy tool, like a calculator or a hammer. Those things were additive. They just extended skills you already had. Generative AI is a fundamentally different kind of beast. It substitutes for skills you completely lack. It makes the total non-expert immediately capable. And it lets the individual entirely bypass the big institutions. Think about it. A prompt becomes your leverage, and a simple sentence literally becomes your workforce. Which leaves us with one last pretty profound question to ask ourselves. You don't have to ask, do I have the money, the gear, or the network to start anymore? The old gatekeeper is gone. The only limit left is your own imagination. The question you have to ask yourself now is simply, do I actually know what I'm trying to do? Because if you can clearly articulate the problem and hold the vision in your head, the tools to build it are already sitting right there waiting for your prompt.